What's going on, Lauren, with the Free Ass Podcast? I'm going to do a story here about Andrew Coffey IV because it got overshadowed by Kyle Rittenhouse last week, and in much to do with the exact same defense, which is the defense of self-defense. Now, this unraveled here in Florida, and it wasn't like a recent shooting, but Andrew Coffey IV was being charged with felony murder and felony attempted murder and of a law enforcement agent. Also a weapons charge. So it is a similar charge to Rittenhouse, but the details of the case are significantly different. Before I get into this, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I could really use some more subscribers, trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. And hit the notification bell if you want some more notifications. I'm going to hit this intro, and then we're going to get right into why you need to watch this video. All right, so we have a man here named Andrew Coffey IV. I'm going to pull it up on my screen. And this man faces 30 years in a self-defense case. Now, pretty much the media pretty much ignored most of this. I saw it pop up once, I think, on my news feed. So I wanted to touch base on it because a lot of the Rittenhouse narrative was, what if he was black? I saw that way too much because we can't do the what ifs. Every circumstance, every situation is different. And in this case, this man is asleep in his apartment with his girlfriend, and the SWAT team shows up to raid his house in the morning, early morning, throw a flashbang in. He believes he is under attack by somebody and takes his weapon and discharges it in the direction of the officers. They return fire, fired 10 shots into the room, and the SWAT team killed the girlfriend who was sleeping next to him. Indian River County Sheriff's Office shot Woods 10 times during a drug raid in 2017, targeting his father. The young Coffey allegedly opened fire on deputies when they burst into his room that evening, having been awoken by the commotion and thinking the cops were an intruder. Deputies fired back, killing the girlfriend. Now, this is important because Andrew Coffey IV is being charged with her murder. He did not shoot her, but because she died in quote unquote the commission of a crime, they tried to charge him with the murder of Alteria Woods. To me, kind of crazy because at the moment they're just sleeping. You're sleeping in your bed, big loud bang. You think maybe someone fired a weapon in your home, something happened. You go to defend yourself, which is what he's claiming, and they shoot back. The police killed his girlfriend. Under the felony murder rule, the government may charge someone with killing someone he didn't actually kill if it is somehow connected to a tangential offense. Had Coffey not tried to defend himself that evening, the government argued the officers would have never shot at them in return. Therefore, Coffey was supposedly guilty of murdering his partner. That's crazy. The jury didn't buy it, acquitting Coffey on both charges. So he fired back at them. They tried to get him with attempted murder of a police officer and killing his girlfriend. He was acquitted on these charges, found not guilty. However, they are going to find him guilty in possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Now, arguably, if he's a convicted felon, which he was, and he's in possession of a firearm, pretty straightforward, guilty. What's crazy about what's about to happen to him is that the state will be seeking the maximum sentence of 30 years in prison for that, which is basically saying, well, we couldn't get you for firing a weapon at us, and we can't pin killing your girlfriend on you that we killed, but what we can do is lock you up for arguably most of your life. It's not fair. Look, man, I don't know what the regular sentence is for a felon in possession of a weapon, but 30 years is a lot. 30 years is a long time. And that seems unjust. And I don't think that it has anything to do, obviously, I don't believe it has anything to do with a race situation, but it does play out to look that way when you have an article like this And the narrative is Kyle Rittenhouse versus Mr. Coffee. That is the narrative. Well, he had a weapon. Well, as it turns out, Kyle Rittenhouse was legally allowed to walk around with that gun. Therefore, there was no weapons charge. This man here, Andrew Coffey, was not allowed to have a gun. Which brings us to another situation that we could double back on the Rittenhouse case and go, well, Gage Grauschwitz is a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Where's his 30-year sentence? We could go that route, right? We don't know what's going to happen to him, if anything. It's something he should, because he got shot. Did we just forget about it? I don't think so. But, Andrew Coffey said, I was trying to protect me and Alteria, and I thought I was doing that. But I didn't protect her. I can't sleep with that. They killed her. And Coffey's case is far more egregious than Rittenhouse's. Agents of the state broke into his room, killed his girlfriend, admitted they killed her, and then still tried to lock him up for it. And while Rittenhouse gets to walk free, Coffey still faces 30 years in prison because the jury found him guilty of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, a firearm he used in self-defense when officers burst into his home for a drug raid that had nothing to do with him. The state will be seeking the maximum. That is pretty outrageous. We have to shine a light on something. That is crazy. Now, granted, you're not supposed to have a firearm if you're a felon. He knew that. Doesn't make it okay. But there's no reason to take away 30 years of this man's life for that decision. No reason. And the case is crazy. And I feel like some people need to talk about it. We need to look at this and what's the outcome? What do we do about this? Judge denies Andrew Coffey's stand your ground immunity in the SWAT raid. It's so crazy to me that this can happen. And people are wondering, why are you afraid of the cops? Look, man, that didn't have nothing to do with him. Ruined his life. Ruined this man's life. Unbelievable. So he hasn't been sentenced yet, but I wanted to bring it up mainly because he was acquitted of self-defense. And when you go, well, what if? We have to stop doing the what if narrative. The what if narrative is not valid. We cannot do that. Just say this is the case at hand. This is what happened, and go that route. But I do want to see Gage Grauschwitz. Look, if they're seeking 30 years on this dude, give Gage Grauschwitz 30 years. Go ahead. Do it, Wisconsin. Do it. Maximum penalty. If that's what that's apples to apples. It's so crazy. And then it says here, even if the jury technically got it right, we allegedly need to pass new laws to prevent such a verdict from ever coming down again. Which is what? What? The jury got it right. They broke in the man's house. Warrant or no warrant. If you're asleep and someone throws a flashbang in your house, your instinct is not it's police all the time. You're not expecting police, then it's definitely not police. Now, granted, I don't know why, someone else would be in there, but it's just crazy. We've got to do better. We have to do better. Unbelievable. Assistant State Attorney Chris Taylor will be seeking the maximum. Chris Taylor, go yourself. That's what I'm saying to you. 30 years, go yourself. Give that man even 5 years, something. Don't take away this man's entire life because you busted into his place, his dad's place, killed his girlfriend, and then tried to pin a murder on him. Nah, that's not okay. Not okay. Let me know what you think, America, the world, whoever's watching this. Let me know what you think of Assistant State Attorney Chris Taylor's decision to try to charge this man with 30 years. I want to know. Some people live free. Some people die free. Some people need to be free as fuck. I'm not saying that Andrew Coffey shouldn't be punished for being in possession of a weapon. but you don't take away that man's whole life over that. See you on the next one.